Sales success isn't just about drive. It's about timing. And salespeople need to master when to push, when to slow down, or when to stop entirely. And sometimes we need a bit of help from a sales manager to begin with. So if you've got a team, this one could be for you. But if you are a salesperson yourself, then we need to be able to manage and handle these three things. So push when there's a sale, when there's an opportunity, when there's transaction and interest. We need to slow down when a prospect needs nurturing or needs clarity or needs time. And we need to stop when it's clearly not the right time or the right fit, or maybe just pause for that moment. And the push pull isn't just like, oh, I'll push here, I'll pull there, I'll stop, I'll slow down, I'll do this here. And it's a skill, and it's something that takes a long time to understand if this is the first time you're ever hearing about it. And I get asked about, obviously we train, but we also have a team. So it's great for me to be able to see both sides of the coin at any one time. And I'm obviously also a salesperson myself and have been for many years. So when it comes to selling, everybody has, or anyone in a sales leadership or coaching or sales training role, have their own way of doing things. And so that's why there's so many trainers out there, and there's so many different approaches to, your business or what you're selling and your products or services. And the reason for that is that people will find their own methodology that works. And the thing we have to be mindful of is that sometimes in businesses, I see the top salesperson being the sales trainer. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can be a bad thing or have a negative impact if you are allowing them to share what works for them today, not what worked for them 3 years ago or 5 years ago. Because a lot of salespeople, when they've hit that kind of 2, 3, 4, 5 year mark, they have a network. They have people, they have past clients. And, if you are there, if you've been in sales for a long time, there's a lot of people we can call and do something with. And I was chatting to my team this morning. We're doing, obviously campaigns all the time for different clients. And we're actually running one of our own campaigns to do with lead development as a service. And one of the questions they asked me was like, who is an example that you've outreached cold to that have signed up to do LDR? And I was like, oh, I don't think we have. And when I say cold, is in someone I've never spoken to before, and I've reached out to them directly to offer LDR as a service, and they've converted. I've reached out directly, and we're in talks with a lot of them, but the service is so new when we haven't converted any of those ones yet. But the people we have on, we've got about 10 contracts, 10 clients that we're working at the moment, and they are all previous contacts, or they've been referrals from people that I already know. And that comes from having a network. So if I was to teach somebody based on where I'm at today, that's like my chapter 15 to their chapter 1, I'm going to say, ring someone that you know, ask them for a referral, and go have a meeting, right? Because that is as simple as it can be once you've built your network. Go and look on LinkedIn, look for your first connections, look for the industry, go reach out, go for a coffee. Like it gets easier the more you do it, the longer you've been in the industry. But when you're starting out, there is so much you have to be mindful of. And it's hard yards. Like it's a hard slog in those earlier days. It's fun, and it gets to be exciting, and it gets to be, challenging. But the wins are amazing because you've gone from nothing to this deal. And then once you've got that deal, they're now your customer. So you can now on repeat sell to them and reach out and upsell and cross-sell and share new things. And that's great. And that's what we want to empower our teams to get to. But if your top salesperson is talking about how they do it today, that's the challenge. And the reason why I'm premising that first, and we'll come back to the 3 points, is that when we are approaching the realm of when do we push, when do we slow down, when do we stop or pause, and then how do we pick it up again, it's like a choreographed dance. You have to feel to the music, but then you've got to know when it's going to speed up before it gets there, and know when it slows down before it gets there. Otherwise, you're just dancing away, and the music's totally out of beat, which is pretty much me every weekend. Let's be real. So we need to be able to be really clear on that. So when I talk about these 3 elements of when we push, when we slow down, when we stop or pause, is that I found this in training my team, because I train a lot of people's teams, but we're also training people that have been in those roles for a little while, whereas I'm training people that are brand spanking new, fresh, never been in sales, never been in tech, and they are joining our team, and it's very exciting. And so when they come into sales, they're like, I'm going to sell, I'm going to close, I'm going to get that meeting, I'm going to get that deal. That's great. I need that energy. I need that one to drive, but I also need them to be able to know when to kind of rein it in, hold it back, because not everybody, call one, touch point one, is ready for that. And my industry, the people we're working with and our ideal clients, are not ready for that. Now, if you're selling advertising, you've got to be go, 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 close it, win it, next one, move. That's how quickly that goes. Recruitment, fairly similar. What we're selling, especially in technology and cyber, is that it's a longer lead time. It takes a bit longer to build that relationship and build that trust, because we're dealing with something that's so sensitive to them and their business. And the clients we're working with have a similar requirement, and they're looked at in a similar way in the industry. So yes, we need the push, because we need the push to find. We need the push to know when to keep going. We need the push when someone tries to drag you into an objection and you've got to get back out again and kind of go broader and higher level again. We need to know when to slow down, when to just offer some value and not even suggest about what we're doing or who we are and how we do it. We need to know when we need to nurture them, when we should give them a few extra weeks, when we need to share some educational case studies or invite them to something which is not for a month yet, but just slow it down. We need to know when to stop or when to pause. So it could be that we've attempted 6 or 7 times. And now that's not every single day, one after the other. But let's say we've, over the last 4 to 6 weeks, we've attempted, a number of times. Pause, take a pause, book your activity, do it again in a few more weeks. It's clearly not the right time, or if it's not the right fit, own that. That's okay. We're not here to close everybody. That's not the goal. That's not what I teach. It's not the goal. The goal is to find ideal prospects, people that we'd love to work with. The goal is to then educate them and allow them to make data-driven decisions, which is our goal in sales, regardless of what you're selling, whether it's technical or not. Allow them to make data-driven decisions. So allow them to understand, allow them to work out where it will fit in their life or in their business. And if it's not the right time now, I don't want to meet with you. I don't have time for that. But if I respect that now, and then I reach out again in a couple of months and invite you to something, and then I reach out again a few months after that and share something that's relevant because of a conversation that we had, and then say, I know you were keen for us to connect at this time of year because of these reasons, shall we pop that meeting in? The chances of me guessing that meeting are now, I reckon, 100 times more likely, because I've listened and I've pushed, and then I've slowed down, and then I've stopped, and then I've started again, but I've done it slowly, and then now I'm pushing again. And we have to find that up, down, know when to stop, when to go. But sometimes it's a feeling. It isn't a black and white, a science. This is the art side of sales. And we need that blend of that art and that science. And I said before, it's like that choreographed dance, or not even choreographed dance, but you know how to dance. And therefore, you've got to listen to the music. You have to preempt what's coming next before you annoy somebody or before you piss somebody off. And so the push and pull is a skill. It's something that your manager, if you're a salesperson, your manager can help you. It's something that seasoned and senior salespeople will often do very well. But it's something about recognizing, and often we just have to listen. We have to listen to them. We have to know when to tone it up or tone it down. Now, something that I'm trying to think, I would love to know who it was that said this, but it was training. It was in my very early days. And they said to always be 10% above somebody you're speaking to. So if somebody says, oh yeah, I'm fine, how are you? We don't want to come in and be like, oh my God, I'm amazing. I've had the best day. I've done this. I've been here, da, da, da. Like, that's not going to work. So if someone says, oh, I'm good, how are you? Be like, oh, I'm great. Thanks for asking. Now, the reason for my call, like, we go in, we elevate it. And that's why I'm really against the whole, like, how are you? I'm not too bad. Like, that to me just says bad. Like, oh, that's all I heard in that. I'm not too bad. Oh, sounds terrible. Are you okay? Do you need a hug? That's how we should not be responding in that way. And yes, it's a bit more casual, and it could be in keeping with the lingo, and especially in Australia, we are a bit too easy, mate. But if we are using something not too bad, no worries, no problem, we're saying bad worries problem. Like that's all we're picking up. That's what we're giving our prospects in our conversation. And so when we change it to rather than no worries or no problem or not too bad, to be like, oh, I'm great, thanks for asking, or I'm good, yeah, having an awesome day, just have my coffee. If you don't want to say I'm great or I'm good because you're like, I'm actually not, I'm having a crap day, then think of something positive. It's going to make you feel better, but it's also going to help your conversation, because if someone says, then how are you? And they don't know you and you've interrupted their day. And then you're like, oh, I'm fine. They're like, okay, well, I don't know what you want me to say to that, because like, I don't know who you are. And are you fine? Do you need a chat? So just be really mindful again of how we're kind of leaning into that. We also don't want to be too far below them, because if they're like, hey, I'm good, thanks. And you're like, yeah, I'm good. We're leveling up and leveling down. So we want to be enthusiastic, but not too enthusiastic at the wrong time. We want to be level, but not too level. So I think that 10% is a really good kind of gauge, but we want to make sure that we are learning and listening and adapting what we're doing. And this is why the frustration I think I've always had of sales being this kind of icky, crappy, low level, if you're not educated, you go in sales vibe, which is why I was so, adverse to being in sales so many years ago. It's so incorrect. Like there is such a skill to being a great salesperson, and it takes training and time and awareness and trial and error. And so we need to make sure we have that balance. We need to train for it. We need to coach for it if we're leaders or managers. And then we need to practice it. And the best reps will then know how to go, like when to go slow, when to pause, when to reignite, when to get going again. And I share a lot of that in this podcast in our resources as well. So if you're looking for a bit more around these types of topics, then definitely go check out the resources. I'll pop a link for the website as well. But be mindful and reflect maybe on your last call. Go and do some call listening for your team. Get your team to share when they've pushed and they shouldn't, or when they slowed down and they shouldn't, because it's all about learning and understanding and being aware. And when we can be aware, we can learn from that and develop on that and get better. And that's ultimately our goal, is to be the best salesperson in that organization for our clients, for the products or services that we are sharing and delivering with the world. And this will just give you a bit more perspective on how to and when to and how that feels during your process, because sometimes it just requires a little bit more value before we ask for the meeting. That's why we are positioned within the lead development as a service, because we are not all about meetings. It's all about nurture and communication, but know when to ask for the meeting when the signs are there, know when to slow it down when the signs are there as well. So I hope you found this useful. If you've been here for a while, you'll know that a lot of what I share gives you as many tips as possible. If we're not already connected, come find me on LinkedIn. Just search Harriet Meller or search Your Sales Co. I'll search Sell Like You and you'll find us. And I wish you an incredible week of selling. I hope this has helped. Let me know, and happy selling.